DauT and Viper are playing a Castle Age start show match on Acropolis, so they don't know the meta, I don't know the meta, no one knows the meta, and they gotta decide how they're going to open on this map and play it with the extra resources they have at the start. It's Turks versus Berbers, and this game has a beautiful demonstration of the strengths and weaknesses of the Turks. One of the beautiful things about Age of Empires is just how asymmetrical the gameplay can be. Here we see DauT using the Turks with their free light cav and extra armor on them to go for the stable opening and even use the market to prepare to sell some resources. There isn't much wood at the top of the Acropolis, so DauT wants to go for the middle where the wood lines are thicker. He's thinking that with the light cav he can be aggressive and keep the pressure up on Viper so he can't counterattack, but Viper gets in with his starting scout and spots a villager. Now he's going to use the hill and get the kill here, but crucially Viper doesn't run away in time and is going to end up losing his own scout, and this is going to come back to bite him in just a moment. Viper takes completely the opposite approach and decides he's just gonna boom with no army and 3 TCs. He does a great job garrisoning his villagers though, and even though he has a bunch of idle time, he still has no villager deaths. But DauT has all of the map control, so what's he going to do? It's time to build a castle. There goes the village, everyone's forward, let's go. Now because Viper lost that scout earlier, he doesn't see these vills coming. He can feel it though. We see this villager going forward to build a house. He wants like an anti-castle house wall in front to stop DauT from being able to position the castle. But because he doesn't see the villagers, he doesn't get it up in time. And there we go, DauT is building the castle. There is nothing Viper can do to stop this. And surely he must be dead, right? Right? Well, there's a few things he can do from this situation. Number 1, knights. Remember that lumber camp DauT made that's forward? Well, Viper remembers it too, and here comes his knight to snag those villagers. That's 1 going down, and the rest have to go back to the TC while the knight chases and hunts them down. Now, this is very bad for DauT because if you look at the top left, he only has 81 wood, and he doesn't have any wood income. So what's he going to do with all of those forward castle builders who were just collecting from the deer? He wanted to make a mining camp or a lumber camp so that they could drop off their food. As long as they construct any drop site, they'll drop it off. But now, his castle is idle, he doesn't have the food to train more janissaries. He needs to cancel some vills or drop off the food somehow, but that one knight just did a ton of damage for Viper. The next thing Viper does is go heavy on stone. He can't really take straight up fights with knights against janissaries, so he needs to buy himself some time to get to other units, and he's going to do that with towers. Right now, DauT doesn't yet have enough janissaries to stop the towers from going up, so Viper can use them to zone off areas of his eco and keep them safe. I think the range indicator lines in Capture Age do a good job of showing this. The janissaries outrange the TCs, but they don't outrange the towers, so Viper buys himself some time until DauT gets enough army where he can take fights against the towers. Remember, this is a Castle Age start, so Viper still has resources left at the top of his Acropolis, and the tower gives him the room to move to the back and start adding in farms. Next, Viper goes for the clandestine economy. He sends some vills far, far away from his base, and this is something that DauT just doesn't scout. Viper puts a TC down and is able to have a safe eco that doesn't need to keep running back and forth from the janissaries. Finally, Viper deletes his stable and goes for a castle. And as he builds this, notice how he goes and repairs the TC. These range indicators do such a good job of showing this off, but between the tower and that town center, he's able to keep the janissaries away to the point where they can't harass the villagers building the castle. A couple vills will go down, but overall DauT just can't stop this, and finally Viper gets the castle up to defend his base, where, still, those resources are at the top of his hill. DauT's janissaries are not particularly mobile, so it takes them a while to get to the back of the back where they can build a castle on the other side of Viper's base. But because Viper has this defensive castle already up, he can just run away to the other side and keep his eco safe. No reason to lose any villagers here, they can all just run away. And because the janissaries are so slow, even if DauT wanted to, he couldn't run around in time to give chase. That's the big difference between Acropolis and Arena. On Arena, you don't have as much room to run away, but on Acropolis, you can keep moving. And finally, Viper's going to start amassing a key unit, the Camel Archer. There aren't many units that can take fights against janissaries in the Castle Age, but Camel Archers are up there among the ones that can. Viper is such a huge eco lead at this point that he doesn't need to force any fights. He can just sit back and wait for his Camel Archer numbers to climb. And then once he gets comfortable, he goes for his own castle drop. There's no way DauT can stop this. He can't have the Janissaries all over the map at once. And this is going to be the end of DauT. Eventually, there's going to be one large fight where the Camel Archers clean up, and there goes DauT's army and his hopes of winning this game. At the end, they're going to be joking. DauT asking Viper how many vills he has, but of course he knows it's over. Viper managing to come back despite losing all 3 of his starting TCs to that one forward castle.